Hey, real quick before we dive in, if you're a woman in midlife who's tired of the cliches and ready to live out loud, we're glad you're here.
Because you are definitely in the right place. We're not here to age gracefully, we're here to age boldly. So if you love real talk, big laughs, and the occasional spicy truth bomb, make sure to follow us on TikTok at Spicy Midlife Women for even more unfiltered midlife magic.
Because let's be honest, midlife isn't a crisis, it's an awakening.
Hey, all you spicy ladies out there. This is Julee Michele here, your two ladies from Seattle, Washington, the Emerald City, sharing our real life stories and having no BS conversations with all of you. Isn't that right, Miss Shelley?
Oh, that's right. Here to help all you midlife women redefine your relationships, ditch toxic cycles, and reclaim your power one episode at a time. Let's get into it, Jules.
All right. Well, we are just doing a little precursor right now to the interview that we had with a boudoir photographer for the photo session that we had just recently done with her. And the interview itself covers quite a bit in regard to the boudoir session and the experience and everything. But really, it's like we decided that this was something that we wanted to do to really show all of you spicy women out there that, you know, our sensuality, our sexuality, our bodies, and how we feel in them is super important. And it's something really to be celebrated. It doesn't really matter how old you are. We have a lot to offer. So this was a wonderful way to do that.
It sure was. Definitely a testimony to empowerment for women, confidence for women, and just the overall experience, and really strengthening a lot in those areas and how you feel about yourself is just a really great experience, and can't wait for you to listen and have us share with you.
Yeah, so here we go. Here's the interview with Callie, the photographer that we had for our boudoir session. So thank you so much for joining us today, Callie. We're thrilled to have been a part of a boudoir photography session with you today. It was pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. You both were such a joy to have in the studio, and it was just so much fun seeing you both thrive. You're both so beautiful.
Okay, keep coming.
Okay, this was nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah?
It really was.
Well, watching you get prepared was, I don't know, a tiny bit hilarious because she's so used to having the control over what's going on with her makeup and her hair.
This is true.
So it was good for you. I think that was really good for you.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
So it was such a great experience, and I can't wait to talk now about how you got into this and just the different things. So
first of all, it's like boudoir photography in general is obviously it's a sensual thing. It's a very feminine thing. How did you get into this type of photography? Because I know you've been in photography for about 10 years, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So I originally started out, I was doing weddings, engagements, just couple family photos. And I had a friend who was getting married, and she really wanted boudoir photos done. And I had never taken them before, nor had I had my own taken. So it was completely new to me. So I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to take this on. I'm going to do it for you. And I just kind of dove into it. I did some research, looked at poses, and like, what's going to be my style? What do I think is going to look the best? And I rented out a studio space, and one that kind of fit the vibe that I liked. We did the whole session. I went home and I edited these photos, and I was like, this is what was meant for me.
You knew it.
I did. Right away during the session while we were doing the photos, I felt like I was just thriving, seeing her light up and just feel so beautiful in her own skin. I'm like, nothing will ever replace this feeling.
Yeah.
And just empowering women and being like, you are beautiful in your own skin, no matter what size, no matter what age. And being able to show women that is just such a gift to me. And I just could never give this up. This is the best kind of photography I could ever do.
Yeah. I was just telling Julie, because I have a makeup background, right? And I've done wedding makeup, just like you were doing wedding photography. And I said, this would be so fun to do makeup for these women. Prepping and getting ready for a shoot like this.
I have a few makeup artists that come in and every time they leave, like, I love this. I love that I'm now doing boudoir makeup. It's now something that they just enjoy coming in to do because it's a little bit of a different style, right? You have bridal makeup, which is a little bit lighter, airy, and then you come in here and you have a little bit, you can maybe do that darker eye, and you can just really have that creative freedom here. And it's so fun to see on all ends, everyone just enjoying it in the studio.
Yeah.
So your studio, we'll have described your studio already, but from your perspective, how did you choose this space? Because this space is really amazing. We're in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
Down in an older part of like Pioneer Square area. And you obviously love a lot of the architecture just like I do, but it's like, tell us how you chose this particular space and what about it really resonated with you.
So I love history and old buildings and just the brick, especially of downtown Seattle. It is so beautiful. And I love all that cultural history that Seattle holds. And originally I was in Tacoma. And when I got to the point where I was expanding, I needed more space. I knew that I wanted to come to Seattle just because I love the architecture down here.
Yeah.
So I kind of just went out on a hunt. I started searching online, everything that kind of met the parameters that I was looking for. And one day in my searching, this building came up and I was like, this is perfect. I have to see it. So I messaged him right away. And I just saw like the beautiful original wood flooring, the brick. I'm like, this is the best boudoir studio. It would just highlight everything so wonderfully. And I knew the second I walked in here, I'm like, this will be my studio. Like, this is it. I told him right away, I'm like, send me whatever I need. Like, I will fill it out. And within a couple of days, like, yep, yeah, you got the space. And I was just beaming.
It's
like,
fantastic.
Bringing this place to life has been an absolute dream, designing it and just having that like beautiful place where I can take these photos. I never want to give this up. I love this spot so much.
Yeah.
I know, we just love it. So just for all of our listeners out there, just to give you a visual, we'll have some pictures we can post as well. But Callie has this area that's like a huge closet full of lingerie and full of all of these beautiful high heels and different colors and laces and all of this kind of stuff. And we walk in here and we got to pick from all of these items for what we wanted to wear. And, you know, there's obviously a tremendous variety. So I love that you've done that, and everything color coordinates. It's just the whole vibe is so positive and just female driven. And I can see how people very, very nervous walking in here and not really knowing what to expect would feel very, very welcome and comfortable almost immediately. It took a little while. I think I've done this before a long, long time ago, so I kind of knew what to expect. But everything's a little bit different, obviously, depending upon, you know, where you go and the timing and all that. When you have worked with women that are in that midlife stage, what have you noticed that might be different? Because they're obviously in a different place in their life. You know, they've had children maybe, or they've gone through ups and downs. They might have a little gray hair. I mean, there might be these things that they're really not maybe feeling super comfortable about even.
Yeah, I think the first thing I notice is when I get a message about someone midlife requesting to do a session, they always ask, am I too old? And my answer will always be, never. You're never too old. You are always beautiful. And that's one thing when I made this studio space is that I wanted to focus on, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. You are beautiful, and I'm going to show you how beautiful you are, and you're going to leave this studio just feeling radiant. And it's just really showing that it doesn't matter where you're at in life. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to feel good in your skin, and that is my primary focus here. The photos are fun, but I want people to just really feel empowered in their bodies and know that you're beautiful through every stage in life, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Everyone's been in this studio, and everyone's left feeling like, wow, I didn't know I could look like this. And I tailor the sessions to everyone's comfortability level. That's why I'll send out a questionnaire and be like, what would you like me to highlight on? What do you want me to more so? What do you not like about yourself that let's kind of, you know, boost you up a little bit? And I take everyone's responses and I craft a session that I believe is going to tailor them the best. And then I will try and pull some pieces. If someone's like, I'm not feeling very comfortable, I'm very conservative, I'm like, no problem. We have pieces for everyone here. And then just going from there. And I think that really helps when, especially laying it out too, when you don't know what to expect. I try and front load as much information as I can. So you walk in the door and you're like, okay, it's not as scary. I think that's helped a lot.
I noticed that you have a little iPad and you pulled together different poses based on the feedback that we gave you that you thought would be good for us.
Yes.
Which I thought was so cool. So she was showing us, she showed you too, the different poses and things that she thought would work for basically the information that we filled out. And I think our information we filled out was a little generic probably to some degree because I'm like, I don't know. You know, so you have to, you probably have to work with that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and here's the thing too. It's like, I know some of the poses that I took with you, Callie, were probably not ones that I would initially think that I would love or want to accentuate on my lovely body. But in looking at them, they're so tastefully done and really fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And they are beautiful.
I so enjoyed watching you get your photos taken.
Yeah.
Because I could see within 10 minutes or so, and Callie saying, okay, do this, like move this way, or, kind of put your hand up, however it ends up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you could see where you were kind of letting your guard down. You're kind of trusting the process and just letting it happen.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was great.
I think that's a big thing too, is the first few poses, especially if you're shy and this is something you've never done before, can be really nerve-wracking. You come in here and you're like, what can I do? You might feel a little stiff. And I try and walk everyone through the poses. I'll demonstrate it. I'll show them a picture of what it's going to look like. However, you're the most comfortable. I know I'm a visual learner, so I know if someone shows me something, I'm like, okay, perfect. That's great. And after a few poses, people just really loosen up. They're like, you know what? This is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really good. And the rest of the session is just a really great time.
It feels good. And the atmosphere is fun. It's flirty. It's sexy. And then you do start letting your guard down. And that helps with your comfortability, just like you were talking about. And yeah, I mean, come on, ladies, who hasn't thought about looking sexy, not for, entire public viewing, but for the ones that are close to you, right? And for yourself.
Right.
And being able to come into a space where you can do that, you can let your guard down. It feels sexy. It feels comfortable. You feel beautiful while you're doing it, because really you are beautiful. And that's what it shows in the photos that you end up with. It's a fantastic experience. I would highly recommend it for all you women out there. It's a must do.
It's a must do.
Yeah.
So, Callie, do you have any little stories that you can think of for women that were in their midlife or a little bit older that were hesitant, and like how they came in and kind of blossomed or bloomed?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a few women come in and it almost seems like they would want to run out the door when they first walked in, right? Where they're just like, I don't know if I want to do this. This isn't me. I've never done this before. And I try and make this a really welcoming environment. So I'm like, let's just figure it out. We'll just sit down. Let's get you in the makeup chair. Let's get you pampered. And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what is the vision that you see? What do you want? And we'll create that session and we'll create that safe space. And that's where I have this closet too, where it's like, you pick what you're going to feel comfortable in, what you're going to feel really good in your skin. And we'll just take it step by step. Okay. And as we go through the session, that's usually where they start to blossom. And I'll show little examples of pictures as we go along, kind of like I showed you both, where like, this is how the photos are turning out. You look beautiful. And I think people too, seeing that preview, that's where they just light up. They're like, that's me.
Yeah.
And that is the best feeling in the world, is hearing someone say that. Like, I didn't think I could look like that. I was like, well, this is how I view you. You are beautiful. And now you can see that.
Yeah.
And it's just, nothing beats that feeling.
Yeah, that was honestly really, really cool. And I like the fact that you showed us like different shots that you were taking, because at least to begin with, especially because we're kind of like, we don't know if we're posing right, or we obviously, like you said, are a little bit hesitant. And so you could see the relaxing happening, as you go. But I think a lot of it's that you just showed us the pictures and we were going, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That actually looks a lot better than I thought it would.
And that's the thing I tell a lot of people is it feels so ridiculous doing the pose. You're like, does this really look good? And I always say, the more silly it feels, the better it looks.
Yeah.
And that's usually the case.
Like, how much can you arch your back?
It was kind of a workout.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's kind of a workout. Yeah. Some of the poses are definitely, they look sexy and the shot is great, but yeah, get ready for a little bit of a workout there too.
It is a little bit of a gym day here. I tell people that you might wake up a little sore in the morning because you'll hear me say arch your back and point your toes probably 100 times, but I promise it pays off every time.
Have you found that since you've been doing Boudoir that it is kind of a healing process for women, or more of an empowerment process for women when they've come in and then when they leave?
Absolutely. I think a huge thing is just society as a whole. There's these beauty standards for women that are so unattainable that we feel like we have to fit this mold. And it just kind of breaks my heart, because I think just women are just so beautiful in all sizes. And when people are just trying to fit this and be like, well, I can't do boudoir because I'm not small enough or I'm not pretty enough. I'm like, no, that's not the case. And me being able to showcase that and be like, no, at any size, you are absolutely beautiful and this is what you look like. And then realizing that and coming to that realization of, I don't have to fit society's mold. Like, I look beautiful the way I am. And I've had women message me after. I'll send their galleries. It'll be a month later. And like, I'm still beaming after my session because I've never felt so good in my own skin and felt so beautiful and so sexy.
I love that.
And it makes this just the best job I could ever do.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So what would your advice be to women who are hearing about this and are hesitant or have this perception that it is sleazy? That's
right. I'm glad you brought that up, Jules, because I think there's a lot of judgment.
Yes.
I wrapped around this.
Absolutely.
I didn't tell a lot of folks that we were doing this today. Well, one, just because, it's up and coming. But at the same time, people are kind of judgy about this.
Yeah, it still is a little taboo in a way where it's just not a super common form of photography. Yeah. And if people are seeking it, that's usually where I get messages. But it's just getting the word out there where it's not sleazy. It's empowering. It's beautiful. And it's just showing that you feel confident in your skin. And that woman empowerment is my biggest thing that I try to push. And I'm trying to break past those barriers of it's not sleazy. And
that's what I was saying. Like, women, for the most part, I think I can speak for a lot of us, we love to feel sexy. We want to feel beautiful. Lingerie is lovely and fun. Sometimes it's not comfortable. We kind of don't know where we fit. And this was an opportunity to kind of go outside the lines a little bit. And the pieces I wore, I don't have anything like that at home. And
she might now.
Yeah, I might seek it out now because it's really not something that I ever would have thought that I would have. But it is. It's flirty, fun, again, sexy. I did feel confident. And it's very tastefully done. Very tastefully done. And
So we need to break those barriers, I think, with people and the perceptions of these things and it being overindulgent. You hear things like that. Or I had someone, when I was telling them what I was doing, go, why would you do something like that? And I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Was what I was like, well, why wouldn't you? And to her, it seemed very odd. But to each his own is kind of how I look at it. And it's like, she'll see the pictures and she'll go, okay.
And that's the thing too, really, women, it's not like we're putting these
judging
online
other women
and putting a photo on the wall for family viewing. This is not what this is about.
Right.
It has to do with how you're feeling within your own skin, like we've been talking about. And we've talked on past episodes, wearing something sexy underneath what you have on because of how it makes you feel. Nobody else has to know.
Right.
Like you can come and do a session like this completely for yourself.
Yeah.
If you have a man in your life, maybe share it with him. But even if you don't, just do it for yourself.
Absolutely. I've done my own session before and it was for myself.
Yeah.
And I still have those pictures on my phone and I feel so good in my own skin when I see those because as much as I tell other people, like take society standards and push them to the side, I fall victim to it too. I critique myself all the time and I just always find myself doing it. So when I did that session and I just saw how I looked, I felt so good. And it was, I'm like, if I'm making other people feel this way, I'm doing everything right. And I look back at those pictures and I cherish them. I love them so much.
Damn, girl.
Yeah,
exactly.
So now what would you say to the younger girls that are out there, the ones that are in their teens trying to figure out what their sexuality looks like, what sensuality is? They're exposed to so much. And, I know that we have daughters, Michelle has boys, but I was telling you how my daughter would probably die before she did something like this. And I'm hoping I can encourage her to do it at one point or another because I think she would be very pleasantly surprised. But what message would you have for, young girls out there that are kind of starting to go into this space, understanding their sexuality?
I would say, and I know it's said all the time, it's just social media can be pretty evil.
Yes.
And there's just such a heavy influence on the younger generation with social media. And kind of like we were saying before, where you're conforming to these societal norms of this is how it's supposed to be when it's not. That's not how we're supposed to look like. And it's just really realizing how beautiful you are and you don't have to fit that mold.
Yeah.
And then, just taking it step by step and maybe even coming in here one day, 18 years old, and then we'll just have like a nice little session, just feel good in your skin and pick out something that you feel pretty in. And I tailor sessions where some people want like really risque photos, and other people just want very conservative, like pretty pictures,
Anything goes.
Absolutely.
Anything goes,
it's so customized to you. And I think it's just a really great experience, young or old, to come in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of those women out there, we have listeners all across the U.S. and outside of the U.S. as well, who are probably going to be going, I want to see that girl. I want to come to her studio in Seattle, Washington. We might need to make that happen. But what would you recommend in terms of if someone was kind of starting to do their research and making a decision to do a photo shoot like this? What would you look for in a boudoir photographer that you could share with them?
I would say the biggest thing to look at is their communication. What kind of information they bring to you when you're asking questions. Sometimes photographers are pretty bad about responding, or they're just very, I would say they don't front load a lot of information, and making sure that you feel comfortable with their personality before you even step foot in that studio, and asking the questions that you need to feel comfortable, and just moving forward that way. Because you hear horror stories all the time with other boudoir photographers where people will walk in and they just like, I had a horrible experience because they're closed off, and it's just more transactional. I feel like when you go for a boudoir session, you have to really vibe with your photographer and make sure that it is a safe space. It's vulnerable. I mean, essentially everyone's strangers, and you're walking in and you're wearing minimal clothing. Yeah. You want to really have that safe place and making sure that it's a good feeling walking in, and then you know that it's just a safe environment.
I mean, we did. Yeah. We researched Callie. We looked into, different
and I
venues.
Dig your, I just loved your vibe, your style, just your photos were so, I was just like, oh my gosh, I just love this. And we looked at a lot of different ones, and it's like, yours just stuck out to me because it just had this real energy to them. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, we need to call her. We definitely need to call her.
I'm so glad you did. It was the most amazing session.
And you were so wonderful, even just like responsive and just really positive and upbeat. And it's like immediately I was like, I think we're really going to really enjoy our time with you. Yeah.
So for all our listeners out there, can you just tell everybody the name of your studio and just information? Because we'll put a link on our page so that people can reach out and get in touch. And if they want to do a session, know where to go.
Yeah. So we're Lustful Rose Boudoir, located in downtown Seattle, Pioneer Square District. We're pretty close to the water. Another great bonus about us is we're really close to the ferry terminal. So if you need to catch a ferry to pop over here, it's only a 5-minute walk from the ferry. So we're very conveniently located. Yeah. I tried to pick a place where everyone could get here. If you don't drive, that's okay. We're really accessible to public transit, and we try to make this whole experience is really easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
I do. Yep. It's lustfulroseboudoir.com.
Okay.
Lustfulroseboudoir.com.
Well, we so appreciate your time and just really have enjoyed spending this with you. We really think we're probably going to have a lot of people that are going to reach out and be a lot more curious than maybe they were before, because we're giving them some insight into it. And we've got some back of the scene photography and things, or pictures. I'm not a photographer, obviously, so it'll be, hopefully Michelle will fix my pictures that I took before we put them up. And then, one more thing. She took pictures of us together.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was like, okay, could this be weird? But it really wasn't weird at all.
It wasn't weird at all. No.
I love how they turned out. You both look so great. And they're actually some of the favorite photos that we took today.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
And, we're not sitting there naked next to each other. We do have a little bit of stuff on. Yeah. I had to have Michelle show her boob a little bit more because it was covered up too much. But other than that, it was great. But thank you so much for all of your time and your energy and everything in this. We just so appreciate it.
Of course. You both were so wonderful.
Recommend.
Lustful Boudoir Photography.com. Yep. Callie, she's amazing. And thanks again.
All you spicy midlife women out there, just do it.
Just do it.
Whew. There you go. Can't say much more than what we just talked about in that interview, right, Jules?
I'd say that was a tiny bit spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spiciness.
We had the best time, you guys. You have no idea what you're missing. You got to give it a try.
Love, love, love.
Yeah.
Do it.
Hey, everyone, just remember that the photographer Callie has her business in Seattle, Washington, and it is called lustfulroseboudoir.com. And she is amazing. So if you're in this area, I would highly recommend it. Michelle would highly recommend it. And we will have all of her information available in our show notes. So we really appreciate all of you listening to this. And we hope that you have got a little pep in your step thinking about the possibility of experiencing it yourself.
Yeah, we'll have lots to preview and listen to over on our socials. So check it out on Facebook, Instagram, just because we are going to share some of the photos, the ones that are appropriate for, social
The ones
media.
we want you to see.
Yeah. Yeah. But so head on over to the socials, check it out. And again, Callie's information, we'll have that there as well. So super excited to share it with you. Thanks for joining us along in the experience. And until next time,
we want you all to stay spicy.
All to stay spicy.
We want you all to stay spicy. Have a good one, people.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.